Hello everyone, and today we are back for another Loomian Legacy Top 5 video, and we're going to be talking about the top 5 Bane of Haste Loomians in all of Loomian Legacy. The Bane of Haste playstyle has always been a kind of mediocre playstyle to play in Loomian Legacy, until the addition of Soulburst Icigool, which made Bane of Haste fun again. That out of the way, let's talk about the top 5 best Loomians. Number 5 onto this list is going to be Holly Bunch. Holly Bunch is a very interesting Loomian to talk about because it has a very bad defensive typing. That's the biggest thing that really holds Holly Bunch back. And that doesn't even mention its slow speed stat. But with its slow speed stat, it makes it perform really well under Bane of Haste. It has amazing coverage, and with its high energy stat, it makes Holly Bunch hit extremely hard. If you use an item like an energy orb or chocolate bar, you could do a ton of hits before you actually lose damage. That is definitely the biggest flaw with Holly Bunch, and that's why it is only number 5 and not higher. After you do use a couple moves, this Loomian tends to lose its ranged attack, but despite that, has very good coverage, has Sap Plant to gain health back, and it also has Peace of Mind setup, and while the Peace of Mind does not increase its range attack because, you know, the Festive Spirit ability, it does increase its range defense, which does help it a lot. And for a Bane of Haste Loomian, this is probably the Loomian that has the best bulk on the list, with having 130 defenses on both sides, making this thing really dangerous under Bane of Haste. Other than that, though, Holly Bunch isn't the best in any other playstyle, but in under Bane of Haste, it's pretty good. Number 4 into this list is going to be Moreel. Moreel might be one of the most underrated Loomians in all of Loomian Legacy. It hits pretty hard, has good coverage, has setup, has priority, and great base stats. The biggest flaw with Moreel, though, has always been its slow speed stat, and not having any proper recovery besides soft water. But under Bane of Haste, this Loomian could finally be put to its fullest potential. With Dark Electric Stab and Landslide and Ancient coverage, this thing could be extremely dangerous. You could set up a couple Energizes, and you could destroy 2 or 3 Loomians under Bane of Haste. And even better, if you run Jolt, once Bane of Haste ends, you can outspeed the next Loomian after you set up an Energize, which is awesome for Moreel. The fact that it has priority makes it useful even after the Bane of Haste ends, which helps it out a lot. That doesn't even mention its good bulk. This thing, just like all other Bane of Haste Loomians, have amazing bulk, making it able to soak multiple hits on both sides, which is awesome. It can't hit a super effective range hit, unfortunately, but other than that, this thing is flawless under Bane of Haste, and it's definitely the most underrated Bane of Haste Loomian on the list, because I never see many people use it. That's why it's number 4 on the list. Number 3 onto this list is going to be Billowforge. Yep, Billowforge is on this list, and the reason why Billowforge is on this list is because of the ability to hit on both sides. It has 112 attack on both sides, and it has so much coverage. That doesn't even mention how awesome its defensive typing is. It's a fire toxic type, meaning that it's a Loomian that can get rid of fire icicle traps and poison barbs. That's massive. That doesn't even mention the abilities it has. If hit by a fire type attack, you gain a melee attack boost, and you can hit on both the melee and range side. You're also one of the slowest Loomians in the game, meaning that you're probably the first Loomian to outspeed under Bane of Haste. And with its awesome coverage, this thing can sweep Loomians on both sides. You even have the Heat Wave weather, which helps it out a lot, making your fire type attacks hit even harder. The biggest flaw with Billowforge is that it doesn't have any setup without, of course, you know, Forge or Steel Crusher giving it a +1. And after Bane of Haste is over, this thing can usually get O-Code. But other than that, this Loomian can be used very well, and the fact that it can hit Loomians on both sides makes this thing extremely dangerous. Number 2 onto this list is going to be Colossotrops. This is an easy add-on to the list. This is an easy top 3 pick. Frail Armor Colossotrops is the one I have for the footage, but trust me, the secret ability Colossotrops with Bane of Haste is extremely overpowered. The reason why I'm showcasing a Frail Armor one in the video is because I don't have a secret ability Colossotrops yet. But trust me, the secret ability Colossotrops under Bane of Haste might be one of the hardest Loomians to stop in all of Loomian Legacy. It hits insanely hard, has amazing coverage, and has amazing moves. Its weakest move is a 90 power Earthquake. That's its weakest move. I guess unless you run Primal Slash, which a lot of people do, but I tend to run Outburst for the most damage and to get energy back. And yeah, under Bane of Haste, this thing can wreck. Not many Loomians can swap in, and not many melee tanks want to swap in neither, because a lot of the melee tanks are actually weak to Colossotrops. The biggest flaw with Colossotrops is that if you use Rogue Assault with the secret ability one, you could lose your defenses. And not to mention, once Bane of Haste ends, this thing is kind of a sitting duck. Although it does have amazing melee defense, so maybe you could live one more hit after the Bane of Haste ends. This Loomian is fantastic. Honorable mentions on the list, and the only honorable mention is Drago. I wanted to talk about Drago a little bit because this Loomian is actually amazing under Bane of Haste. And while this Loomian is still a very powerful Loomian, it's still a top 20, maybe even top 10 Loomian. This thing is even better under Bane of Haste. This might have got it back into Uber potential. Yes, I am one of those people that do debate its Uber potential because of its slow speed, and with specialty boots, its ability to get stuck into Draco Beam. But under Bane of Haste, that problem is gone, and Drago runs rampant, and this Loomian can easily be put above any other Loomian I talked about so far, and that's why it's an honorable mention. The best Bane of Haste Loomian of all of Loomian Legacy is Icigool. And I'm not just talking about Icigool. I'm talking about Soul Burst Icigool. Soul Burst Icigool is a must-have for every single Bane of Haste team because of its ability, Party Trick. When you use a Soul Burst, you place Bane of Haste on the field without having to use a move. That's amazing. Even better, Icigool has Fade Away, meaning that on one turn, you set up a Bane of Haste, fade away into your Bane of Haste wall breaker, and good luck beating that. That's why Soul Burst Icigool is #1 on the list. It can be used as a bridge, kind of like Your Snack, actually. I do think Your Snack is a better bridge than Soul Burst Icigool, though, because again, Your Snack can baffle as many times as it wants, as Party Trick only lasts once, and once you use it, it is gone. But this Loomian makes Bane of Haste actually usable again. If you want a Bane of Haste team, you have to run a Soul Burst Icigool. It's so good, has good coverage, it has Rejuvenate, and it has Pivot. That's why it's #1 on the list. And here it is. Soul Burst Icigool, the best Bane of Haste Loomian in all of Loomian Legacy. I hope you guys enjoyed this top 5 list. If there are some other Bane of Haste Loomians that I missed, because there are a ton of slow wall breakers, which I did miss on this list. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all all later. Bye-bye!